Yo, what's good, everybody? Yeah, just want to check in with the life and times of a fruitarian. Living in Pennsylvania in the winter, and shit. So, man, I mean, it's definitely been a struggle lately. Let me holler at everyone. Like, so, I'll start with yesterday. Yesterday, I was pumped because to our local Whole Foods, they got the Altufa mangoes in. I don't really like the other kind, and I was pumped, man. They had them on sale. You get 2 mangoes for $3. It's not ideal. They're conventional anyway. Not like I said, not ideal, but hell, it's definitely the best I could possibly do. So, got a case of those bad boys, and tore into them last night. I think last night I had about 6, and then would have more, but I was headed out to my boy's house. So came back, and this morning I started to settle into some more. First, when I cut them this morning, I noticed like wormholes in them in a couple, and I was like, oh shit, all right. I hope these all aren't like this. And I happened to take a peek at the box, the case that came in, which is something you always want to do, because every time I do this, it's like, oh shit. Right on the box it says hot water treated. Now this is produce grown in Mexico, so after a little research I realized that every single mango, even if it's organic or conventional, if it was grown internationally, which they are most of the time, it's cooked. You can Google the video and you'll see someone, I don't know how or why, or maybe it's not that hidden, like most people don't even care about fruit. So someone taped the exact process at the facility, how it goes, and they show you the entire thing. They zoom in on the temperature and the time in the beginning, and then they show you the pool with all like the chemicals and the hot water in it, that all these mangoes are just getting cooked in. And I was just speaking to the guy at Whole Foods about it, and he's saying, oh yeah, these guys all know, man. They all know, like they know that all the mangoes are cooked and shit, that aren't grown in Cali or grown domestically. So that's the mangoes. And this was after just frustration. But I'm not gonna give in, man. I'm not gonna eat the cooked food. Like I eat for energy. Okay, so if I'm not gonna get energy out of it, then why the fuck am I eating? Like I'm not eating to feed my addictions. Like for any of that shit. It's like I've reached a point of discipline now. So I've always been a bit disciplined with this stuff, but sorry, just trying to get a good angle so I can put this thing down and not hold it, but I guess that's not happening, so maybe right here. So yeah, so that was with the mangoes, and it's always something. Let me get into dates before I get into bananas. With the dates, folks, you got to open these dates up, and you got to look to see if there's little worm poop in it. It's going to look like little sugar crystals inside. Now, of course, anytime any sugar crystals on on the outer realm of the date is fine, but when you crack it open, hold on, let me go get a date and I'll show you. Be right back. My dog's getting all excited. So, what up? So, chill. So this is what I mean. Alright, you crack this date open, okay? Let's see, does this one have worm poop in it? No, this one doesn't have any in it. That's good. But you crack this baby open right here, okay? And where you see right there, where I got at the bottom, that's where you're always going to see the worm poop, right down here. So if there's like all these little brown dots like right in there, then there's worms in there. That's the easiest way to look, instead of just like you'll torture yourself going through this whole date, every single date you eat, and looking for worm poop. So you just look right here at the bottom, and if there's little sugar crystals, me and Mogi will split this date. If there's little sugar crystals at the bottom, then you don't want to eat it. And I always soak these first, but in this case I'll eat one. Got a bunch soaking now. I don't know how many I had earlier. A lot of dates earlier. In like a Gatorade with some wild blueberries. I had some other like real nice maca and shit in there. Oh, some type of maca you can't get in stores. Um, it's just a shame, what a scam all this stuff is. So that's my thing with the dates. Look for the worm poop and soak them, baby. You can see, I forget what doctor it is. He's on YouTube. You can just type in testing date conductivity. That should bring it up on YouTube. Oh, I know his name's Gary Parent. Gary Parent. And he's got some real good videos on YouTube. He's got a video of testing the conductivity of dates, and he shows you, date unsoaked doesn't conduct, and then he shows you soaked dates, and it lights right up, man. It's great. So soaked dates will get you by. The hybridization argument for dates is definitely an intricate one, but what I just pull out of this baby? I pulled out a nice big seed. So you can see, eat the dates, and it's not going to cause the candida or the sugar highs. They're pretty good in terms of all that. Okay, so the next thing is bananas, which I've been kind of living off the last couple years. But lately I haven't been getting the results I like. Like, I was accelerating for a while, and recently, due to some medical issues and such, not medical issues, but I don't know, it's really in depth. I don't want to go off on a tangent. If anyone wants to ask me, I'll tell you everything about it. I'm just trying to keep this video short. Like, look, we're already at close to 7 minutes. I know everyone doesn't want to sit here and hear every little thing. But with the bananas, you're going to get into a lot of things. You can look into Dr. Sebi. You can look into Dr. Kassar. You can look into, even people like David Wolf and Brian Clement talk about it. Like fruit hybridization. That's a couple names. There's actually a lot more people that talk about it. It's just like the universe just keeps sending it my way now. It's like once you have that thought seed planted, you're just gonna keep getting the truth or the information that you're seeking revealed to you. So what happens is the bananas are highly hybridized, and these Cavendish, Cavendish, Cavendish bananas, yeah, they're like highly hybridized. And if you look at a banana, like they're like this, the banana should be like this big, like not this big. So this is what we're doing with everything. With the watermelons, a watermelon should be like this big instead. What is it? Fucking 50 times that size. And I used to think this is such a good deal. Like, oh, you get these huge watermelons, these huge pineapples, and things like that. But I'll tell you something with like the seedless watermelons and the seedless bananas and shit. Like, they never fill me up, and it's fucking crazy. And it's why living where I live, it's been hard to go all raw, is because I'd eat like 20 bananas, and every more banana I'd eat, I'd get hungrier and hungrier and hungrier. So it's like, what the fuck was I feeding? Like, what I was mineral deficient, and the bananas were mineral deficient. Recently, I cut rice and all the starches out of my diet too, and have had incredible results with that. Just breathing cleaner. I had like a little mucus come up after, which was crazy. Rice and some of these cooked starches definitely, wreak a bit of havoc on the mucous membranes, and they're not quite as light foods as I thought. And I don't, like, before I used to like cook. I used to steam rice like every other night or each night, like steam like organic brown rice or different like types of rice as like my staple cooked food. But it's actually what was holding me back from my next bit in the ascension process for a while. And what's going on? But for now, like, I just have to feel like an electrical conductor after my meal, and if I don't, like, there is no if I don't now. Like, now it must be electricity. You see, like the summer's out right now, like my fucking eyes and shit are lighting up, and like I am transforming into like my true self. So it's good, and like I'm not gonna let anything slow that down. A lot of people, they just don't understand, but you gotta have your own goals in this life. And if your goal is enlightenment, then fuck, man, nothing's holding me back. Like, I've been held back my whole life from spiritual cults and Catholicism and sad diet and inoculations, vaccinations, never have any breast milk, fluoridated water, GMOs, chemtrails. You can go right on down the line. Living in a highly toxic environment like Philadelphia my whole life. And then San Francisco for a little bit, which is the same metropolis, like right off a busy street. So I mean, I've just been exposed to these toxins my whole life and shit, so I feel like there's a lot to motivate you. Like, there's a lot they don't want us to know. There's a reason why there's a Rite Aid and a CVS and shit like that on every single corner. Like, I mean, they don't want people being healthy. They don't want people being healthy at all. And even the people that have been vegan for 10 years and shit like that, man, a lot of these folks aren't even healthy. You can tell, like, you can see, like, if, you know, what I want is, I want a halo around my head, you know? I want a macabre. I want my order to come back out. And, you know, and it might take a bit of time to get there. You know, I don't want to put any limitations or time periods on it, but, you know, this shit isn't easy, folks. Like, a lot of people, they seem to not, they don't like to know that they're in it alone. But see, I like to be in it alone, man, because, like, a lot of people are fucking weak. So, like, I'm fine with being alone if other people are just gonna hold me back and, like, make me weaker. See, you just gotta be careful who your friends are, folks, because, like, I got some good friends and I'm lucky, and I ditched all the ones that, you know, that weren't bringing the higher vibration, and I could feel even years ago before I really, you know, before I was, you know, I was starting out on the journey, like 5 years ago, and that's when I really started weeding a lot of friends out, because I'm just like, man, these people, like, they just hold back your growth so much. Like, they just want you to be exactly like the pack, and anything you do, you know, against the pack, or, oh, you know, this guy's, like, taking care of himself now and shit like that. Like, if it's a big joke and, like, you're really discouraged from taking care of yourself, but from a person, like, that person, you get the fuck out of your life. I mean, you know, when does it become, like, socially acceptable to, like, be unhealthy and, like, just become a toxic, like, individual? I mean, that's where all the negativity and bullshit's coming from. So, I don't know, I think sometimes you gotta just talk about the emotional and the spiritual and the physical and the mental, because that's what this is all about. Like, you're changing, like, your vibration of the food you're taking in order to change your vibration, and, like, you get all your emotions and everything like that pretty much from your food, or the critters that are helping you break down the foods that you're not supposed to be eating. So, you know, I think I'll leave it at that today, folks, just explaining, you know, I guess I can finish up with the bananas too. Maybe I went on a tangent didn't you know, complete everything I should say about bananas. You know, you want to try to get wild bananas. You want to try to get these little bananas, you know, like this big, and then you want them to have seeds in them, folks. You want to have seeds in all these fruits, grapes, you know, watermelons, any type of melon. You know, fuck all this seedless shit, man. Like, we gotta trust in nature, baby. We gotta you know, get back to nature. We gotta get back to the Creator and giving thanks and praises to the creation, and not trying to alter the beautiful gifts we've been given with you know, just stupidity. I mean, there's just too many people trusting. Like, there's nothing to trust out there, folks. Like, this society doesn't encourage you to become your divine self. So who are you trusting in? Like, no one wants to eat light foods. There's hardly any out there. So, shit, you know, I'm actually moving to California in 2 days. So, I don't know. I'd probably be going crazy right now. That's what's getting me by, is like, all right, I know I can find some good wild fruit at a co-op out there. Whatever it is, I don't even care what the taste, the flavor. I just, you know, I know it's going to be good when it's that true vibes. You know, grown in mineralized soil. I mean, this is what we're talking about, folks. We're talking about growing our produce in mineralized soil. Because if your produce has proper minerals, then they're not going to have any bug bites on them. Why? Why won't they have any bug bites if they have proper minerals? Because the minerals allow the plant to produce its own inhibitors and its own phytochemicals. It secretes a certain enzyme that the critters, the bugs and shit, the insects, they don't like when it's properly mineralized. So that's what's amazing about it, folks. So we spend all this money on herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, or rodenticides, when we could just spend that money on putting the proper minerals in the soil. And it's just amazing how out of touch we are with everything and our health, and everything's just being doing for profit. That's what I'm saying, folks. Like, you got to realize, like, when you're setting out on this living food, raw food is vegan, fruitarian shit, whatever, like, stop. Unless you want to live a lie, but, like, a lot of this food ain't raw. Like, half these nuts ain't raw. I mean, I work in the industry. I'll tell you, like, I can tell you what products are really raw and what aren't. Like, some of these products, raw is a marketing term. It's not like non-GMO project or anything like that where it has legitimacy. Like, there's no legitimacy to calling anything raw. So, you know, most of the shit that you think is raw isn't. And, you know, having all mangoes cooked, you know, international mangoes is just a great example of that. Peace.